Hi, everyone. Welcome to Domain Sherpa, and thank you for tuning in to the podcast with the best domain name and digital asset content in the world. Today's episode is a Domain Sherpa review, and it's titled You Only Live Once, featuring Braden, Shane, and Drew. Today's show, we play the domain game featuring powerhome.com, yolo.de, schematic.com, and hepatitisaA.com. And then we've got the NameJetGonnaJet segment, sponsored by NameJet, and we talk about some domains coming up for auction, including alwaysmoving.com, farmtrucks.com, and pest.org. And then we talk about the current state of auction prices, and we also talk a bit about our upcoming trip to LA. All that and more is coming up on today's episode, and you don't want to miss it. And remember, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you can also watch the video version at domainsherpa.com and on our YouTube channel at ds.tv. You can also listen to the shows on Apple and Spotify and other podcast platforms as well. So make sure to hit the like button and subscribe where you can, because we definitely appreciate it. All right. And we also are now integrating our shows with Muse.ai, which provides new search functionality for the shows and transcripts as well. So definitely check all that out. And big shout out to Dan.com, the #1 place in the world to buy and sell your domains, with a special platform made for domain investors. With that, it's now time to get into this episode of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. What's up, Sherpa Network? Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jonathan Tenenbaum, a.k.a. JT, a.k.a. J-On, a.k.a. Sherpa Winfrey, and I'm the host and producer of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Today's show is a Domain Sherpa review, where we get into the minds of the most successful domain investors in the world, pretty much, using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics to become more successful domain investors ourselves. Again, these are the experts, some of the best in the biz. Appreciate it up front. Just want to say thank you for sharing all this time and information. It is some of the most valuable info that you're going to get anywhere in the entire space. So let's get to it. There are 4 segments to a Domain Sherpa review. We got the grand opening. That's what's happening right now. That's what you're in the middle of. It's what you're experiencing right now as I'm doing this. That's where I intro the Sherpas, see what's going on. They told me to be chill on the AKAs. I don't know if I will. Undetermined, TBD. Then we got the domain game, where we get hear what the Sherpas recently bought or sold. Everybody guesses. We keep score and give out swag to the winner. I am bringing swag to LA. I'm getting you guys swag literally this weekend, and I'm pretty excited about it because it's been a long time coming. I hope y'all like it. I hope I like it. Hasn't got.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, you'll get it. You go get it. And then 3, NameJetGonnaJet, sponsored by our friends at NameJet, where we review a list of domains coming up for auction, see what the Sherpas like, what they don't like. And then we close out with, last but not least, GrandClosing, where we discuss anything we haven't covered already, what's going on in the domain space, looking at the market trends, current events, allowing our guests to talk about anything they want to talk about that we haven't already covered or discussed. So with that, let's go ahead and introduce the Sherpas. Over to my right, I got my boy Shane Cultra. What's up, Shane?
I had already set 4 minutes aside for the introductions. I wasn't ready.
You're like, I was trying to send some emails. I was trying to balance my checkbook.
Exactly. I had the last chapter left on my biography I was going to write real quick.
All this time. A.K.A. Sugar Shane, a.k.a. Honey Shane, a.k.a. doing it for the culture. What's up, my dude? So I actually bought some honey today. You know what I mean?
I know. Man, I hooked you up with a huge package. Every flavor. T-shirt. Braden got one too.
I like your huge package.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. People pay extra for the huge package. You know what I'm saying?
I throw my packages my package has been all around the nation.
You got a tasty huge package.
Yeah,
if you have to ask how much the huge package is going to cost you, you can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. All right, man. Well, Bee House. So talk to me. This time of year, is this like good, bad for honey?
I really never expected. Like, I don't want anything to get too big. I got goals and things I want to do, but man, I do like honey. You know how they say, things you like and passions and hobby. It's just a perfect hobby. I've had so much fun, like curating honey flavors and putting together.
There ain't no money like honey money.
Yeah, it is pretty like learning packaging and design. That kind of I had a meeting with a designer this morning. We got these new shirts coming out that are I think they're pretty cool and simple. But anyway, I just love that kind of like building a brand, building a business. That's what I really like. And the honey's just a bonus. And I've got great sources and working with these bee people and I just enjoy it. Like building anything is fantastic. And designers, I have a new respect, like to take all these ideas that we have, whether it's a domain or a company, and trying to get it out in your vision to the people, in marketing or your customer base. Man, some of those designers, there is a difference between a good designer and a bad designer. It's just amazing. So I that's a new thing I found over the last couple of years, is trying to take all these ideas we have and put them in visual form or video. Like your brother does an amazing job with the show, bringing it across and all the edits and doing all these things that we do fun and making it even more fun. So that's what I've enjoyed about
Big
the
shout
honey
out
business.
to Billy too. Billy, like take a bow somehow. I don't know. You figure that out.
No,
figure that out
it's legit. Like everything we do, whether it's just, I've learned this in photography, taking a photo is easy, but finding the real photo within that photo and even changing things a little bit here and there, that's an art to all that. And so Billy, kudos to Billy, man. He takes our show that's good and makes it great.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I dig it, bro.
Or he takes the show that's mediocre and makes it.
That's right. Or a bad show and
tolerable.
Makes it edible.
Makes it tolerable for some. All right, cool, man. Well, look, I think it's all good. I'm excited to get my care package in the mail. And
I'm excited to see everybody. That's the other thing. Braden and I are going to be like bosom buddies here.
Yeah, well, so this show is going to air on Thursday, and then we're going to be, in a few short days, hours later, we're all going to be, live and in person in LA. So California dreaming. I'm excited. To get out to LA. It's been a minute. And
everybody keeps saying, is there a conference? I said, no, it's just, you just go. When somebody asks you to go to dinner and hang out, you go. Life's too short not to. It's,
a little impromptu kind of gathering of folks that are part of our our Sherpa family and beyond. And what better place to do it than the fresh coast? So
it's either New York, LA, or Dubai. I told everybody. That's it. You're like, that's where we tend to meet up.
I go to 3 places. That's it. But you got to put Miami on the list. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't have the like I told Braden, I don't have the clothing yet. I'm working on it.
No, I could see you rocking like, kind of a little bit, was sort of like a Drew, but maybe louder, like with the collar and the whole thing. And then even like the straw hat. I could see you really vibing in the whole Miami thing, like just leaning in.
Yeah, I'm not a good fashion person yet. I don't have the face for it, but anyway, we'll see.
You got the face for radio. And for those of you who are listening to this podcast, you're right where you need to be. All right, well, let's keep it moving and go ahead and now introduce to my lower right. We got my boy Andrew Rosner, a.k.a. Morpheus, a.k.a. the Dirk Diggler of digital assets, Bob Lee Swagger, the sniper. Drew, what is up, dude?
Oh, man. What is up? Interest rates. That's what's up.
True.
I am I'm all good, just that's it. Keeping it. That's it.
Keep on with keeping on. All right, well, sounds good. Well, with that, let's keep it on. Down below me, I got my boy Braden Pollock, aka Tony Stark, aka Benjamin Button, aka Eat Bray Love, aka Braden Pollockton, the Archduke of Woodland Hills. Remember we we kind of were talking about that the last time, because what was I saying? Calling it a viscount, by the way. And yes, I understand everyone who decided felt the need to message me, but I know it's pronounced Viscount, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It just shows you how unrefined we are on this show and how not serious.
Speak for yourself. I got the book.
You do have the book. That was crazy, man. The fact that you have a peerage manual, is on some other shit. But that's, so but Braden, what's up, dude?
Just getting settled into my new old home. A lot of repairs and deferred maintenance, but I've had crews here every day since I moved back in.
Well, excellent, because you got to get it ready for the show. We're doing the, what I'm saying, we're doing it live and direct.
That's my focus, is really just getting it done before you guys.
The show.
I thought that's why you said that's why you were doing it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
How's the lighting in the living room? Is that going to be good? Do we need to bring lighting? I mean, we got tripods and cameras and things coming, so it's going to get crazy. We're going to get to film.
I was wondering why you
Shane's
texted me and asked me my 3 favorite colors. Now I know.
No, it's
Yeah,
because I was underwear shopping.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I need to know your 3 favorite colors, and do you have your medical records on hand?
Exactly.
How big is that big package you were taking?
Have you had any blood work?
All right.
Yeah.
So, well, I see you got
Guys,
all that.
Oh
you
man,
know,
we
you got
just lost half our audience.
got the money.
Sure. Or
3 people.
game.
3 people just
Or
logged out.
game.
That's it.
Or game. Or game.
True.
You just went
How are we
from-
gonna get those?
Or
3 people?
gain the highly untargeted audience.
Everybody buys sneakers and domains.
Hey, all right. Well, so doing work on the house, that's cool. I see you
Yeah.
got the money behind you. Is that the first let's see, how many dollars is that? It's about $24 behind. Is it the first $24 that you ever made in domaining?
That's an uncut treasury
Yeah.
print.
It's an uncut sheet of $2 bills.
Oh, so that's
I had
actually
to choose-
$48.
I
Excellent.
wanted something different, and there were 2s, and there was a sheet of 50s, and I just didn't want to spring for a sheet of 50s.
Okay,
Because you're never going to cut them up.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Can you cut those and actually make them into
Legal tender.
legal tender?
Yeah, it is legal tender. It's just an uncut sheet. Look,
Right, but I
Yeah,
didn't know the rule
But
about
if you cut it, I don't know if that makes it legal tender or not.
that is a
Yeah.
great question.
yeah,
Can you cut the sheet yourself? Because let's say you know, because even if you don't cut it the right angle, now maybe not so much for $2 bills and things, but I would think for vending machines and other things like might not work. And then also, you know how there's funky rules about like actual money and stuff, like and how it works.
That's a good question.
Funky
it's legal.
rules
I could-
about actual money. Is that kind of like life is like a box of chocolates? Like,
I can cut
some
it.
Funky rules about actual money. Like, what?
I could cut it, and it would be legal tender, and it would be worth less than what it's worth now. So why would I do that?
All right,
Yeah.
hey, look, I'm with you, man. I'm with it. So when we're there, we will maybe we won't cut it.
The rules are
Maybe we'll
I
fuck around
can't-
and cut it up.
We'll
I
fuck
can't
around and cut that
destroy it.
money up. You know what I'm saying?
I can't deface it or destroy it in any way.
What if it was 50s and then I came in and just cut a couple corners off for dinner?
All of a sudden, that's what I mean. Like all of a sudden, you're like, where is the bottom row?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
Wasn't this 6 deep?
Yeah, that shit
I just want to be
longer.
able to hand a strip of 50s that are still attached to themselves. Like just hand that.
All
to
right,
pay,
listen,
like,
guys. Remember, we have a hard stop in an hour
Oh,
and
yeah,
9
that's
minutes.
right.
So let's get it back on course.
Cool. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Appreciate you guys taking the time. Like I said, it is much appreciated. Well, let's slide into segment 2. So that's segment 1. We'll slide into segment 2, which is the domain game. And let's hear about what the Sherpas recently bought, sold, or if they want to pick a name and talk about it. Shane, it's on you, man. You got to buy, you got to sell. What you got?
I don't have anything exciting, but I do. We'll see if anybody, I wrote down a couple auctions I thought like I did before, because I'm not really doing my buys. I know we don't have it. We don't have to go all that. But did anybody participate in powerhome.com? Powerhome.com.
Nope.
No, sir.
All right, let's do that one. And I'll say this is an auction just because it's a wholesale price. So
Okay.
Powerhome.com.
All right. Braden, get your phone.
Powerhome.com.
Powerhome.com.
And it's a raw domain. Like I was looking through some that were like $72,000 and they were like 4consonant.orgs. I was like, geez.
Oh. All right. I
Yeah,
see what
it
you
must have
mean,
been
meaning that
backlinks.
there's nothing special
Yeah.
about it. Yep.
Yeah, there were a bunch of
Powerhome.com.
Ain't no sunshine.
All right, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, flip. Oh wow.
What?
Spread. Oh, I'm super low. All right. I am at 749. Drew is at $3,895 and Braden is at $5,000. I was actually going to go with $999, but I was still going to be pretty low.
Yeah,
like
you
low
would have
man.
been the loser all the way. Braden won. It went for 10,200.
Wow.
What? Oh, that's crazy. That's really something. So let's talk about that. And all right, so Braden, you won. But what's your thought on that?
I mean, I can tell you what we tracked that's sales at DSAD every day. Every auction is listed, and I can sort. That's what Travis does so well, is putting all that stuff up there and make it easily sortable. And it's just amazing. Like 2-word, common word, hot category names are 5, 6, 8. I mean, it's hard to get anything right now for a few $1,000s. I mean, everybody wins a couple that they think they stole, but in general, nothing's going cheap. It's hard to get a 10x out of the gate on some of these prices.
Just to me, it just seems like unless end user, maybe. I mean, I just don't.
But like
see
executive, the other one I had was executive.io, went for $4,600.
Yeah, I was getting on that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 1-word, but $4,600 at wholesale puts you at a $50,000 .io.
At least, right? I mean, we talk about it a lot internally. You're shooting for 20x oftentimes, right? Depending on how much you're paying for the domain. And 10 G's for Power Home. I mean, I'm just doing a Google search of it, and I'm seeing that the only company that pops is a solar business, which makes sense that this would, because that's kind of what it sounded.
That's what I assumed it was, yeah.
But the company that actually used Power Home as their name closed due to all these issues and problems. So it's based up in Detroit, it looks like. And literally the first result in Google is Pink Energy, aka Power Home Solar, closes after multiple complaints, right? So it's like, so if you're a solar
it their domain?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because that
Power
could
Home,
be.
there's a remodeling company.
I think all of these names are just going so high in auction. People that are happy to take less spread. Like Power Home is what? Is it a $20,000 name, a $25,000 name? And we argued about that for a while, but it's not $100,000 name, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. It's like
you are at best all the stars align and you get insanely lucky with a perfect timing and perfect buyer. You're going to get 50 to 75, and that's.
Well, they're not Detroit. They're North Carolina.
If all the stars align,
right.
Perfect timing, perfect buyer. I think that it's a $25,000 name, and so you're looking at a 50% to 100% return over a 5 to 10 year time horizon. Right?
That doesn't
with a possibility of zero,
and that doesn't factor in the time value of money, right?
Yeah,
it's 7%.
So it's not that great. And I'll give you another example. Right now, northpoint.com is on auction. And as we record this, it closes in 4 hours.
Yep, I saw this.
Do you guys know
$12,000 or something?
At NameJet, right?
Currently, it's at NameJet. Currently, it's going to spike right at the last minute, but it's currently at $11,600.
Yeah, actually, it's more.
Now, it's a good name.
I think it's over 12 now. It's a 12,000.
I was the high bidder on that thing.
It's 11.
I mean, there's like 4 bazillion.
Yeah.
No, it's a good name. There's no question.
But it's a $25,000 end user name,
right? Or maybe
somebody's going to get a 50 to 100% return over a 5 to 10 year period of time. This one will probably trade quicker, just because it really is the bang on upgrade for a whole bunch of companies.
Yeah, it's a better name, but it's at best a $50,000 name.
At best,
yeah.
Right.
And
if
once
it's for 15,
that's
tough.
That's just not the math I'm looking for.
Right.
Well, and I think that's an interesting point. So, Drew, what were you a bidder up until?
I was a bidder. I don't remember what my final bid was, but mentally, I'm in that game for up to 5, 6. But
so here's the question.
That's my threshold.
Here's the question for the panel: what gives first, the rate of return, the price of the wholesale, or the end user price? One of those 3 has to give long term.
Okay, but you're asking 2 different questions. You said what gives first, and then what gives over the long term. So I think fundamentally domains are up and to the right on a long enough time horizon for the next 10 to 20 years. Okay. I think it's very difficult to project anything out beyond 10 years, but I don't expect a complete re-architecture of the internet and the way that we engage with it and all of the content that has been produced over the last 25 plus years. So I think that over the next 10 to 20 years, I'm very comfortable with the assumption that domains are basically up and to the right. Or let's say with the assumption that domain names continue to be the underpinning mechanism by which humans engage with the internet communication channel. Okay?
And communicate
if that
with each
is
other.
the assumption that we're relying upon, then I think it is safe to assume that great domains are up and to the right because there's a finite number of them, increasing demand and increasing adoption of the overall internet technology, right? So there we are. Now, so if the long-term trend of domain names, long-term being 10 to 20 year time horizon, is up and to the right, okay, then I think it is safe to assume that, like any market that is maturing, people's margins get squeezed, right? And so I think wholesale prices will rise faster. So if this curve that's going up and to the right as end user pricing, there's a parallel curve that has been more like a flat line than a curve, and that's wholesale pricing, right? And historically speaking, it's been relatively steady, some ups, some downs, but kind of always reverting to the mean. And, if you look at threeletter.com, which I've always said, it's sort of like a barometer. We've kind of reverted to where we were about a decade ago on the wholesale side, right? So, but more or less what we are seeing is now a steepener on the wholesale price. And the wholesale price is starting to accelerate faster than end user prices. But both are going up and to the right, but the gap is closing. So wholesale pricing is getting closer to end user pricing, which is constraining margins on new domain purchases. I think that that is what a mature market looks like, right? I think that volatility, if you want to call it that delta, I think volatility always decreases as a market matures. I still think we're in the fairly early innings of maturity, but I think it's clear the market is maturing, adoption is increasing, supply is supply of great domains is constrained, and so I think it is a sustainable trend. I think that, like new entrants into a maturing market, people get over exuberant and they overpay, and then there's a correction. And I think that we'll see a correction because of credit event in overall markets or because of whatever. But people are going to be, there'll be some degree of forced selling. There'll be a decrease in liquidity.
So you're thinking wholesale prices will eventually flatten?
No, I think that the long-term trend is up and to the right for both.
Okay.
I think the up and to the right trend on wholesale pricing is actually steeper, meaning prices are accelerating faster than they are at the end user, although both are accelerating, but that the gap between the two is closing. But I think that in the short-term time horizon, there will be more volatility in that wholesale pricing. And I think that we're probably on the cusp of people getting, flushed out to some degree. Just because it doesn't, as guys have been doing this for a long time, as you just alluded to, Shane, like that's a 7% yield, right? So, this is really basic math. It's like, if you're looking for 50 to 100% return over a 5-10 year time horizon, call it a rough 7% yield that you're getting. You're not getting that annually. You're getting that all on the back end.
I just want to point out it's not truly 7% because it doesn't account for time value of money and holding costs of all.
Totally, we're basically
right?
totally we're not accounting for opportunity cost and all that stuff. So
and holding costs.
Yeah. But just really simple on its face. Okay, the math is actually worse than this, right? But very simple on its face, it still looks bad. Even if we say it is 7%, which, as Braden said, it is less than that. The benchmark is a U.S. Treasury, and you can get 5.5% from the United States government with for all intents and purposes, zero risk. That's why it's called the risk-free rate, right? So you can get 5.5% plus risk-free money from the United States government. And you can do that with a 60-day T-bill. You can do that with a 1-year T-bill.
30, 60, 90 or all.
You can do a 2-year T-bill, right? If you get out to the tens, now it's a 4.5%, 4.5 to 5. But like, still, let's just call it 5 on that same time horizon of your expected hold for the domain name. You can get a 5% yield with zero risk, and you're getting that yield annually. So I'm not sure that it makes a lot of sense to be buying domain names where your expectation your expectation should be a 50 to 100% yield over a 5 to 10 year time horizon. Those are not sufficient yields to justify the risk and to justify holding an asset which isn't liquid, and to justify, so I think, I think it's a little exuberant on the wholesale side.
Yeah.
All good stuff. So, but to answer Shane's point, I guess it's just, did you answer Shane's question in the process?
Well, yeah, that's my question is, if these are going to be the prices to refill my portfolio, I can't be giving prices out that I'm giving now because it's not enough return. Yeah. We've talked about this privately. Yeah, I paid $400 for the domain, and you could say, well, I'm getting a great return if I sell it for $18,000 but that's not what we do. I have to buy something else, and now I have to pay $11,000. So I can't sell it at 14 because it's not just about the profit of what we're going to make. It's also about continuing our business and buying another one. So we have to adjust to the true value, not based on cost, but based on value. And that's where people have to pay more attention. And it's, people are gonna say, oh, you're wealthy, you do all this, but that's not about it. This is math, this is business, this is reinvestment, this is an overall picture, not just cost.
It's capital allocation. Profit. And everything is relative. Everything. It doesn't matter what you're investing in. There's always a relative aspect, even if it's not being accounted for by the person making the investment. There's a relative aspect, and it's relative to what, right? What are your available alternatives? And if based on the math that we're doing, which I think is very conservative, people are making investments that they should have a reasonable expectation of a 7% yield over a 5 to 10 year period of time. And that is not good math. That is a bad investment, because risk adjusted, you're losing money. You're literally losing money on a risk adjusted basis compared to U.S. Treasury, right? So
not to mention that you're putting in time and effort, right? So
exactly. Yep.
You're in that 7%, whereas you could earn 5.5 on a T-bill and do no work, have no risk, and put in no time.
Yeah, I can sit my money at Robinhood and do nothing at 4.9%. Like, that's the lowest. If Robinhood's giving me 4.9%, you better beat that yield.
Yeah. And then remember, if yields are 4.5, 5, 5.5, probably going to be 6 by the end of the year, what that actually is telling you is that inflation is still hot. And so, the yield you think you're getting isn't actually, that's not a real yield, that's a nominal yield, meaning you're getting 7% on your money, but the purchasing power of the money you're getting in the time frame in which it's expected is decreasing, right? And it's decreasing by an additional. So if the yield is, let's say, 6, inflation is probably 8, and you're actually losing money, right? So, anyways.
I use this in my negotiation.
Complicated, but it's just trying to force people to think about these things as not, oh well, I think I can sell this domain for 50% more, and it's like, you probably can, but it's going to take 5 to 10 year hold times. That's on average what one should expect in this game, and at a minimum, really, and then it's dead money until then, right? So. Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to belabor it, but I don't think people are doing the right math. I don't think they're taking into account that
we're getting
that
paid to
relativity.
do nothing, right? So
Yeah.
we get the economy is right now is in a market where we get paid to do nothing. So you're going to have to give me a better return than nothing. That's the thing. That's what I say. I was like, you're going to have to make me do nothing or make me not do nothing because I'm getting paid handsomely to do nothing.
To do nothing.
So
yeah.
if we're going to negotiate, let's start with nothing and move from there. And nothing right now is 5 to 7%. So
yes,
that's how I look at it.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, man. Crazy time.
All right.
All right. Well, all good. So Braden with the point. Drew, it's on you. You got to buy, a sell. Hopefully something I'm not aware of.
Let's see. I don't really have much. I was banged up all last week. I was sick. And this week I've been playing catch up. But let's see.
We can go to Braden while he's looking.
We could do.
He's never prepared for this. Like this question is always a surprise. Oh wait.
What? We're doing what? What's this called? The domain game?
Where are we? Who are you?
How did you
Did Sean win that one?
I don't really have a good one. Let's go with YOLO.de.
YOLO.de. And is this a buy or a sell?
Did you have YOLO or was that?
Yeah, YOLO.com was ours too.
Yeah.
And that translates into German?
I guess so. Yeah, you only live once. Germans only live once too.
So, but they do it in German. Is this a sale?
This is a sale, yeah.
Oh wow! No kidding.
I'm rusty on my German market.
Yeah,
I mean, we could do something else if you want.
No,
I think we're all going to.
There's a German market. We got to discuss it. We're trying to. You saw our ratings. We're kind of low in the German market, so we're trying to scoop them up.
Our demographics. We got to step.
Our demographics. Next week's the Eastern African, so we'll have to go Kenyan.
Here we go. Ready, flip. All right. So Shane's at $3,500. Braden is at $6,888, and I'm at $9,999. So,
in other words, we have no idea.
Decent.
No. I don't know if it translates. I have no idea if it translates or not. Like,
well, what do you mean? But YOLO's not even a word. How should it translate? Can't translate.
But YOLO, exactly right. We all use in the United States. Drake has gotten YOLO to a top term up there with bling. In the German market, I don't know if they
bling is a thing. Is bling a thing? Is the question.
Right,
hey, until Lil Wayne invented the term, like that wasn't even a word a decade ago, and then Lil Wayne comes and makes it an actual word. So
it's almost more of like, hey, is the pop culture overlap? Really, is what we're saying. It's not does it translate? Does the pop culture reference overlap to other?
Well, I know Drake does. So
that's right.
Are we still playing this game?
So the price was $9,900.
Wow.
I know. It seems like I maybe had some inside info, but I didn't. So
I actually don't think he had any insight on that.
I didn't know. I would say if I did, look, guys, at the end of the day, I control the swag. Like, you know what I mean? As much as I'd like to win and like kind of strut around after I win, which happens all the time, you know.
And it never goes out anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
You don't need to win to start around.
There you go. I am bringing swag though, man. Wait till you see these hoodies. They're dope. But go ahead, Drew. Continue.
I got nothing else to say on that.
9,900.
Where is it?
YOLO.de. I think it's a good price. I think it's worth more, especially considering what we got for YOLO.com. But you know, Germans don't like paying a lot of money for domains. I'll tell you that.
Was it direct or did you?
There goes our demographics.
Yeah, no, it was direct. It was direct, and yeah.
In the email thread were the ones that are extended in German. That it was a German person. You know what I mean? Like,
oh no, it was definitely a German. It was definitely a German. This was I think Reinhold was his name. Reinhold. Yeah.
All right.
Boom.
YOLO.
Keep it moving. All right, Braden, what do you got? Buy or sell?
I gotta say, I've had sales. I mean,
Oh boy.
I sell on average like 3 names a month, and I've sold 8 in the last month, and I got 2 negotiations that are
Look
pretty
at you, man. You were killing it the last time we talked. So
So yeah, it's really picked up. It started in July, early August. It kicked in. And,
August was just amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
good.
yeah.
Even
All right,
little old me had some sales.
the last name I sold a couple days ago was schematic.com.
Schematic. Illmatic.
Illmatic. So let's spell schematic for the audience and for me. For everyone else who doesn't know how to spell it.
SCH. That should be enough to get you, right?
That's
SCH
how far
to
I
get
got,
you home.
yeah.
Oh, that's
All right.
once
So
you're there.
SCHEMATIC, is that like the traditional spelling?
SCHEMATIC.
All
Yeah.
right. Schematic.
When you don't know and you say like, is your last name the traditional spelling? And they're like, yeah, Smith. It is.
Yes.
the
It's like, I thought it was the Y. I thought it was the YTHE, non-traditional.
So I like how you're already pointing out the problems on this name.
But it doesn't matter. It's
Hey, hold
sold.
on. So schematic.com. It's a sale. Schematic.com. Schematic.com. Schematic.com.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm with you.
I use them all the time.
Torn.
But
I'm torn. Do I
it's
go
in
low?
the
Do I
auto
go
parts
high?
and electronics.
All right,
Ready?
Schema
ready?
would be a much better domain. Schema.com.
All right, so Drew's got $49,895. I have $65,000, and Shane has $125,000.
Shane,
Oh, damn! You got
Bang.
all of it.
I sold it for $150.
150.
Yeah.
Dope.
Wow,
All
well
right, well,
done.
give us some more. Talk to us. When did you buy it? How long did you hold
Give
it?
us the juice.
And I didn't pay any commission on it. I got $150. All in.
Wow. Bang.
I netted $150.
Nice.
I bought it in December of 2016. So I've had it for 7 years.
There we go. Right in that 5 to 10 year window that Drew was talking about
Uh-huh.
before.
And I paid $11,865 for it.
Wow. What an amazing.
That's
That's
an
a
auction
great.
then.
So a couple of things here, just observationally, right? So, willing to spend $12,000 on a domain and hold it for 7 years, right? And then to get that 15% return, the 15x return on the domain, that's very much the business plan. That is the business model. And not easy to invest that kind of money and just let it sit for almost a decade, but great result. Had you gotten any interest in it over time? Like, had you turned down? What kind of offers had you turned
Really? You
down?
had other offers?
I did. I don't think there was anything too serious. I think they're all kind of, I'd have to look it up, but I want to say kind of low 5-figure offers and
Suffering from wankeritis?
Wankeritis.
And
The
I just thought it was worth more. And actually my bin was 150, which, I hadn't repriced it a long time. And when that inquiry came in, I think the opening offer was 80. I was like, oh, even at 150 is too low. And I jacked it up to 225. And not as a ploy to go back and like, wow, it's underpriced and I'll honor it. Now, I raised it to 2.25, but did say I would honor the 150, and they kept coming. They went back and forth a few times, and I was like, it's 150, and if you go away and come back later, it's 2.25. And I was going to hold that price because I thought 150. It is hard to spell, but it's such a good name. I think
it is a good name. It's interesting. I think that it's a cool brand. It's, I think it. And do you have any idea about the buyer themselves, like what they're about?
No idea.
The other question I was going to ask you is how the negotiation went, which you then already answered. So cool, man. Well, good result. And like I said,
it came through a broker, buy side broker, and that's the name they wanted, and they hired the broker. So they actually paid more than 150 for it because the broker had some commission. But I was like, that's my number. I'm not going down. So
very cool, man. I dig a lot about that, man. That's good stuff. So, all right, well, good. Congratulations. All right, so let's see. So Shane's got a point.
Me.
Braden has a point. I have a point. Drew, do you have another name that you can throw out here to break the tie?
All right.
12,500. Oh. Is that premature?
I was gonna go find.
Yeah, hold up. What did I just sell? Hold up.
While he does that, do you guys like my wall? Not painted yet, but Drew said I needed to get something with some more character, so it's in process. So see, we got people working at the crib too.
Huckleberry Finn over here.
You know what I'm saying? This is Shiplap, man. This is Shiplap HGTV special right here.
Gonna date your home. No, it's actually timeless. That's what my wife said.
She said you're timeless is what she said.
No, she told me one time she wanted a half a wall of shiplap, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to go Google that. I don't know what a half a wall of shiplap is.
Yeah, I think it looks good. It looks good in person. You know, it's a little tight. You know, this office is a little bit bigger than it looks on. But all right, go ahead.
HepatitisA.com.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Just don't ask me about hepatitisB.com because.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm covered for C, but you just reminded me. I don't know if I got my third shot for the A.
Gotta get Hep A and Hep B together, man. Get them together.
Is it A and B together?
HepatitisA.com.
Man,
Just
I'm
go walk barefoot
to
through LA or San Francisco, man. You'll get your hepatitis shot.
All right, y'all got
hepatitis.
walk through your local tent city.
Ready?
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, flip it. Whoa. Yo, Shane and Braden both got 12,500. I have 35,000.
All right, here's the deal. I'm going to say it's Braden and Shane. So why don't you guys, before I give you the number, you guys got to redo it. So you got to go either up or you got to go down. Both of you would be the winners, but you got to go up or you got to go down. And then I'll tell you the real number.
I'll take the. Oh shit! Under.
You want to take? Or you want to do? One of you take the under, one of you take the over.
Because that's not fair. Then the other one's forced. So just do another number and hold it.
You can't use 12,500.
Yep.
Oh, you know what? Why don't we just do under and over?
No, because then one of you's got to pick the other one.
If you want the under, just take 12,499. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There you go.
And if you guys match again, then we're just going to send you back to the drawing board. But I'm out, and that's lame. All right. Okay.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Hold on.
All right.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Go.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, Shane's got it. 15,000.
Let me say the numbers for the people who are only listening at home. So Braden ended up going with $12,501. Shane ended up going with $13,800. I had $35,000. I'm out. And you said it's $15,000. All right, well, tell us some more about it. What's good? It's like how'd that go?
I don't even know who it is. Came through Afternick.
It's Merck.
Hepatitis A. It's still a park page. So
all right. How long did you have?
Now I will say I am aware. I think it was Adam Strong sold hepatitis C. Hep C. No, I don't think he sold hepatitis C. I think he sold hepc.com for a lot of money, like $250 or something. It was a while ago. But I remember that sale, and so I had that in mind. But Hep C is like a
much more common.
Just a totally different ball game than Hep A. Hep A is, whatever. It's not a public health crisis type of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Hep C is. So, anyways, that's that.
All right.
Shane, winner, chicken
All right,
dinner.
Shane, congratulations, Shane. Big winner.
It's discounting the fact I was getting one on this weekend either way. So
I know. Maybe I'll give you two.
Something about it is I think the positive is I'm getting a little better on the domains like pricing. If you notice, I'm coming in a little bit stronger each time.
Yeah, this is a big win. This is good for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. So all good. I'm happy for Drew for selling names. I'm happy for Braden with the big sale of schematic.com.
Yeah, he's a real
Traditional spelling, you know what I'm saying? Not SKM, you know.
Traditional spell.
Yeah, and I just sold. Elliot pointed out on Twitter that I just sold once.com, but I unfortunately
Ooh, oh, look at
Yeah,
you,
so I
bruh.
can't talk
Once
about
upon
it.
a time, baby. Let's get it.
But it's a payment plan, no?
Nope.
No? Oh, because I saw it
Ooh,
hadn't changed.
They're just
hands
paying
yet, so
once.
it seemed.
No,
dang.
I think he just didn't. He didn't change the DNS, but
Okay.
Bang.
Okay.
All right, dude. Good stuff
Boom.
there too, man. Look at you. All right, dinner is on Braden when we are out in LA. So
Dinner's
that is-
on Drew. Doesn't even know it.
Mhm.
well, it's because he's going to be the only one who's not going to be there. He's already
Yeah.
told me. He's like,
I would
"Damn it,
like to pay
don't
for
let
this
them
meal
over-"
in twos, please.
Yeah, you see, the thing I like about it though is I've got veto power because it's like a reimbursement program, like like international insurance. So y'all can fuck around and find out if you want to.
True.
Oh, I'll be stuck. I'll be stuck with it. But
My
no,
ticket's
it's all good. We're
canceled.
gonna miss Drew. We're gonna miss him. We're gonna do this live Sherpa, which is gonna be a lot of fun, and we'll see how that. I mean, now what I mean by live is we're gonna film it in person together. We're not going to stream it as we film it. We will.
We're not twitching it.
We will post production it and put it out there, after the fact. But yeah, we're gonna get to see some other domain folks. I'm excited about all of it. So for those of you who are in the LA area, I think late Monday, we're trying to gather some people up. So if anybody's around and hasn't been in touch,
Yeah, if you'd like to
isn't on
come
the
and pay for
Discord
dinner, we would love to have you.
you don't even have to come and pay for dinner. Just come hang out. Pay your own way.
Oh,
Though.
okay. Well, I was looking for a sponsor, but that's fine.
Hey, that we are open to that.
We are having a public dinner on Monday night, the 25th, right? 25th?
Yes.
25th,
Yes, sir.
Monday night at PF Chang's in Sherman Oaks. If anybody is local and has not already gotten a message from me, feel free to reach out and you are invited.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? So
Social
PF
chairman
Chang's.
coming forth.
Let's go. All right, good stuff.
MediaOptions is the industry's leading domain broker specializing in domain acquisitions, high-value domain sales, and domain name consultation. As pioneers and thought leaders on the subject of the domain aftermarket and domain name value, plus through their clear domain acquisition service, MediaOptions offers startups and established corporations an unparalleled scope of high-value domain options, providing access to domain names and curation technologies not available elsewhere. MediaOptions believes in the power of a great domain name and is dedicated to helping you obtain yours. Call or email today to put a domain to work for you.
All right, and congratulations, Shane. Let's keep it moving. Let's slide into the next segment of the show, which is NameJetGonnaJet, sponsored by our friends at NameJet. As y'all know how this goes, we just go through a list of domains that are coming up for auction. You can go to the DomainSherpa website. You can pull the list. It'll have some stats and some info to help you in your journey. We get no affiliate benefit or anything, so we're really just doing this as an effort to help. Keep in mind, none of this is financial advice, and in some cases, you may even be bidding against some of us on some of these names. So we've got today's list, and let's see who wants to go ahead. And Shane led off the domain game, so Drew, why don't you kick off the review of the list and let us know what you like, what you don't like, and all that good stuff. Oh, one last thing, as I say on, as we make a point to let you all know, these are all expiring domains. They're going to be private auction, which usually means that you need to have your back order in beforehand. But did I see something? And this is probably, I should have taken a deeper dive into this, but was Elliot saying that you can jump into private auctions now after the fact?
I mean,
No.
He said that.
No. Yeah, but I think he got it twisted. Maybe I'm wrong, but I only read it very quickly on the past. But
I only read the
think
title, but here's what I think.
No,
the
you
article
guys
said.
read my threads? All right.
if it was when it's an expired auction, you've always been able to get into it at any time. And it was only private, I thought, that you had to back order or vice versa, one or the other. But there was
Is there anybody
one
here
of
that's
them-
a NameJet expert?
Yeah.
That was like
Hey, time out. I'm an expert at the way NameJet used to be, right? It's been a long time since I've been at NameJet. I mean, we're talking now, we're starting to push up on
3 years.
5 plus 6 years. I don't even know, And
no,
anyway.
we're talking 3.
No, let's see,
4.
because the
4.
move
3.5, 4.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. 2002.
Oh no, that's right. Because you weren't really doing the NameJet thing when you were at.
Right. Like I had been running NameJet. NameJet effectively got acquired where Webb bought out 2 cows. And then I was still involved, but not running the day to day. And then the tech went under the Web tech stack and all that kind of stuff. So all that took place in like the 2018, 2019 range. And then it was 2020, I think, that, I left Webb to come over to MediaOptions, keeping it popping. You know what I'm saying? And, the rest is history. But anyway, so the point being is that, so newer changes, I'm not 100% up to, and not in the weeds on it. But right now, like I look at North Point as an example, which is in its auction. It's an expired domain. And it looks like I can add a bid to cart, which means it probably puts me in the auction. And I think that's what Elliot was talking about, saying that now, because NameJet moved over to the Snap name system. And it looks like
I can't remember if I told them privately or publicly, but if I'm auctioning off a name and there's more than 2 bidders, it just gets open. Why would I limit who? I don't care if you put a bid or not. Once it's at auction, it's at auction. I just need to have 2 people prove that it's worthy of bringing it to auction. So,
well, I think that was some of it was, I think it was also, there was a number of reasons why it used to be private, but I think it's an interesting wrinkle, and I think it probably makes sense to make them all public, right? I mean, I don't think
you want as many people buying your asset as possible. Why would you limit it at any capacity if you're trying to make the most? Like, I'm not doing favors for anybody. I just want it to sell for as much as possible.
No, and give it the most democratic opportunity to be acquired by the general public, right?
Yeah, and if some big whale comes in and notices on the final 3 hours that the name they wanted is available, and they came and find out, oh, it's a private auction. Well, man, that's not a good.
We used to have plenty of times where people would reach out and be like, "Hey, I missed the deadline. Can you put me in?" And it's like, nah, I mean, it's a pain. It's a challenge.
If it's more than one, then you should open it up. And I know why Elliot would be upset. Of course, you want less people bidding on your name. That makes complete sense. But if I was in the charity, then maybe UNICEF would get into the domain game. But okay, anyway, that's a Joe Dirt reference. We'll have to.
Well, here, I'm going to try this. Oh, this is a private seller domain. I don't even know. I can't tell if I was looking for an expired auction.
Anyway, so Drew, is he the one who's doing the names?
Yeah, it starts with Drew. Go ahead, man. What do you think?
You got 19 minutes to talk about it.
All right. So
29.
Decent list.
We're gonna need all 29.
Seriously,
you're
taking our words one at a time.
I'm gonna lean into the .orgs on this list. I like pest.org a lot. I've talked about how I like the pest control space. It's a good space for lead gen. It's a high dollar keyword. So pest.org, I think, is a great brand. Cholesterol.org, very good domain. I mean, one of the biggest killers in America. And lots of ways to utilize that, monetize that, sell that, etc. So I like those. And then I'll go one more. I don't know. I guess that's really it, to be honest with you. And the names that I really like on this list are pretty much that.
So, all right. So those are your favorites of the .orgs. And then, so a name like pest.org, what are you trying to pay for that in auction?
Well, what I'm trying to pay is like $5,000. What I think it'll go to is more than that, probably closer to 10.
Yeah.
But, if I'm selling it, I'm looking for $50,000 on that name plus.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, it is a fantastic name. If you have a pest control business and your domain is pest.org, I mean, that's pretty like.
I'm looking for 50 to 75,000. You can create a very.
And most people don't realize everything is pesticide. Insecticide and pesticides are insecticide and like Roundup are all pesticides. Like that covers everything. That covers
listen to me.
the whole
Listen
category.
to me. On the speaking of what you are saying, it goes so much further beyond what you've just said. So, for example,
What you said
y'all
was good, but I'm going to say it even more.
Y'all see that water filter, that silver tank? That's called a Berkey water filter. Okay, United States Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, just sued the maker of this water filter. They just sued them. And you might ask, what does the Environmental Protection Agency, what business do they have suing a water filter maker?
How they suing Berkey?
Well, they have designated in the authoritarian way that Weekend at Bernie, Joe Biden's administration has done in so many ways. And they have militarized and weaponized these agencies. And they have designated that water filter that I drink water out of every single day is a pesticide. That water filter is now considered a pesticide. And the EPA sued them, has shut down all of their distribution. Nobody can retail it. And they're about to bankrupt the country, the company that's been in business for over 100 years and put them out of business. And the reason being, they said, well, you have a filter inside of that machine. And inside of that piece of equipment, there's a filter that is, by your description, eliminating or killing bacteria, fungus, and otherwise unwanted, what I call it, agents in your water. And because of that, because it's filtering out, bacteria or whatever, they're calling it a pesticide. And so this is now in court. And if they lose, be very fearful. Be very, very, very fearful, because basically, what that means is that you can't drink water unless it is supplied by or licensed by the United States government. And that is a absolutely horrifying idea. So if you want to sell a water filter, you need to get a license to sell a pesticide. If you want to sell a water filter, you now need to, if they win this case, you have to have a license
and it's just
to sell
a filter,
pesticide.
There's no
And
other...
not only that, you have to label this. This would have to be labeled for sale as a pesticide.
Well, that is interesting. How did you derail everything that we're doing here to jump into that? I don't even know how you segue.
Because it really, really bothers me. And he started talking about pests and pesticide.
Well, and
That was a natural segue.
Everything is a pesticide.
And
pest is how you segued into that?
Yeah.
Basically what he's saying is it is so big that everything is a pesticide. Like, it's a big name because everything's going to be classified as a pesticide eventually.
It shouldn't be, but unfortunately it is, and that's
crazy.
Horrifying to me.
Yeah, I'm reading the article now, and they're saying they basically arbitrarily determined, or
they're like, "Where'd you get your water filter?" Oh,
and this is we can move on after this, but basically this is a problem with all of the agencies throughout the United States government. Is they've become autocratic with and to themselves. They do not go to Congress or the Senate to seek permission to expand their interpretations of the law, and they have taken it upon themselves to interpret these things extremely broadly and create enforcement within their own agencies. And that is not the intention, nor the instrument that was provided to any of these agencies at their creation. And so I think it's horrible. I think it's disgusting. I think most of these people should go to prison.
All right,
that's crazy, man.
I mean, there's a time and a place, and this ain't it. So,
all right, fair enough. But pest.org, I do think is a great name, and cool. All right, Braden, what do you think, man? What names do you like or don't like? Feel free to go off on a rant, political or otherwise, if you.
I'm gonna just talk
Beauty
about
Academy. Here comes Braden's Beauty Academy talk.
I'm going to just talk about something totally unrelated, if that's okay. But I'm going to do it passionately and intelligently. I don't think it's a great list, other than cholesterol and pest. It's not great.
Yeah.
I mean, look, and I think it's mostly because I don't invest in these kinds of names. So, tasty foods, it's got a place. Beauty Academy has its place. Always moving, I can see it like a fitness thing. I mean, those have its place. Gift Monkey.
Okay, wait, whoa. Before you go
but-
into too many names, you still got
But
Shane
I don't
to
know.
talk.
I don't really know values. I mean, are those $2,500 to $3,500 names? Probably, but you got to get them for a few $100, and you're going to wait a long time to sell those, right? At a 1% to 2% sell-through rate. So if you buy one, you're going to sell it in the next 100 years, probably.
Okay,
Exactly.
So I really don't have a lot. TZP. I think there's 2 companies with that abbreviation. There will probably be others.
all right. Well, you've hit your allotment. So if you can talk
did
about,
I go over?
went over. So
Okay, but don't I have 18 more minutes?
you have time, but you have to. You can't talk about every name on the list
Okay.
because
now there are rules. Okay.
I'm just trying to be mindful of the fact that Shane hasn't even gotten a chance to get into the list, and you guys
All
are
right.
going to
All right. Talk about farm trucks.
So that's a good one. The one that I like only because I've been working with people is VoiceCraft, and the fact that AI and voice is the hot market. You don't hear about it as much, but like there's a product called Whisper, and everybody's trying to do things on the back end with voice, so nobody has to type out anything. So whether it's like one of the biggest things right now is drive-throughs. Most of the drive-throughs are all going to be AI, and there's nobody going to help you. And there's big companies like Sound already doing it. But Whisper is going to be huge. And VoiceCraft lends itself towards that market where there's literally billions of dollars being funded into voice-activated AI. So I think that's a nice little name that would sneak through and have a good opportunity. I think farm trucks the thing about trucks is they literally still are the best-selling vehicle in the United States of all vehicles. And there's a great, beautiful tax law of a 6,000 pound vehicle. You get 100% depreciation. If you buy a truck that's over 6,000 pounds, and at the end of every year, every farmer, businessman, every dentist goes to buy a 6,000 pound vehicle or more. So there's just a huge market. And if you're going to market yourself as farm trucks or big trucks, I think that's literally the biggest market there is in our country. So I think that has a huge one. Obviously, cholesterol is good. Always moving. We've talked about this. I don't know if I've talked about it or I've seen it, but the moving space, maybe because I don't move, I don't hear about it, but everybody, Mayflower still exists. It's been around for 50 years, and yet these big trucks. So I think always moving might be a marketing name that has a little bit of value, but everything else they said fine. Yeah. I mean, I love Manage Your Wealth as a marketing name, but I just don't see most of these going for huge dollars, like some of the lists you've had in the past.
All right,
That's
cool.
it.
Well, good. I think that's good that everybody had an opportunity to talk and share and go through some of what they think about the name. So that's good. Just adding in some of that data while we're going. I just didn't want you to talk about every name before Shane got a chance to talk about these names. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's funny how different people have the names that they kind of gravitate towards. Like, we just assumed you'd be talking about Beauty Academy with some of the businesses you've invested in, and Shane, anything that's farm, plant, or whatever related.
Well, we all have our wheelhouses, and we all know where capital is moving within certain. That's what's great about this panel, right? Like, it's pretty diverse when it comes to what we do and what we like. There's lots of money and lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely right. So speaking of which, so let's go around the horn and see what everybody's up to. We got a couple minutes. Anything that we haven't covered already. But what else you got going on, Shane? You have anything else happening in your world other than about to head out to California for a couple of days? And
no, I mean, I'd really like to. I'm looking at buying a second property, and it's an interesting market right now, where you're hearing that the rental market and the Airbnb market might be faltering a little bit. You're seeing cities that are like New York that are making it where you can't Airbnb, which is taking some of the income out of some people that were buying properties because they had incomes coming in along the beaches in the Colorado towns. And then you have money at 7.4% borrowing. So I think it's really interesting time right now for the property purchasing and buying and navigating that. And, I don't know if I should be buying from that standpoint, but I do know I sure like a mountain town overlooking, not that I don't like Jacksonville, but I've realized I like the mountain 76 degrees a lot more than the 98 degrees.
I know it's hot here, but and Colorado is like kind of going off too, where you've got
that's the problem. Like the little town that I like, everything was $300,000 in 2020, and everything is 800,000. So it's moved from 300 to 800 just because it got quote found. Like everybody,
exactly.
That's cute. Come to LA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, LA is like a mass exodus. You know how like NFTs, I always joke that the door's wide open to get in and super small to get out. LA's door to get out is giant as everybody exits.
People say that, but you know what? It's a revolving door, man. People want to come here.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a glut of empty property values are going up here, not down. And that's not because people are leaving. It's because people are coming and they want houses. When I put my house on the street,
I think I just saw this morning, Los Angeles property values raised by 2.6%.
Middle of the sentence, still going here.
Month over month.
We put our house on the market. We had a broker's open, and we had 2 offers, all cash offers the next day. We did not even have an open house.
Yeah.
I mean, it sold immediately and for over asking. Properties are like rents are going up here. Sale prices are going up here. People are not just leaving. Now, maybe there's some stats, I don't know, but property values are going up, and it's because of demand.
No, it's true. My mom sold her house in San Diego for 30% over ask and all cash. And
crazy.
Yeah.
Drew,
No,
it's
valid. I'm just saying to be more if people weren't leaving.
Drew, what were you saying?
I just read an article that LA property prices increased like 2.something% month over month. I think I read that this morning.
Yeah, it's nutty.
Airbnb said the average home price they expect next year at 2024 to be up 2% across the nation on average. So they don't plan on seeing them settle anywhere because everybody's waiting, right? Like when we all talk about homes,
I'm talking
we all
month
think
over month, not year over year.
No, yeah, I know. I mean, LA is. I don't know what the case is, but it's not going down. There's no doubt. None of these places. And especially if it has income.
But here's the deal. And this isn't original to me, but like, it's really, I think this is a very important distinction that people need to realize is that everybody analyzes and they look at, the S&P 500 is up. Real estate prices are up. The price of gold is up. The price of Bitcoin is up. And actually, none of that is true. And it's similar to the interest rate analogy that we were making earlier about comparing interest rates, but even though that's a nominal interest rate, the actual interest rate is irrelevant because the actual interest rate is actually negative too because of inflation. And it's a similar thing. Everything, the nominal price of basically everything that people want is up. And the reason for that is currency debasement. It's because there's more money that has been artificially created into the system, but all that new money is just chasing the same number of goods and services. And so if, you got, more dogs chasing the same rabbit, right? And so that's it. That's all it is.
I think you need another.
When you create new money, you don't create more goods and services, right? That's the stuff you can't create. You can incentivize it, you can blah, 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 but you cannot create goods and services through monetary policy. And so when you expand the money supply, the number of goods and services available to that money supply do not change, and it just creates the price to go up. So that's really all that's happened. The price isn't up. There are certain markets where prices are up. LA is probably one of them, where price, relatively speaking, inclusive of the monetary debasement, is still up because demand continues to rise. But for the most part, everything is basically the same. It's just up because monetary debasement is up, and you should expect more of the same at an increasingly escalating scale over the coming years.
I think that you should start a new podcast, and I suggest that you call it Rosner Ramblings. And you can just talk about whatever shit you want to talk about.
I think
Rosner
the problem,
rants.
yeah, but look,
Rosner
here's
rants
the
is
thing.
another good
I know you love to push back and you get bored with me going on these rants, but the truth of the matter is that I think it's actually a much bigger problem than you realize. And I think that when you don't highlight these things to people, it's part of the problem. People are not understanding that everything is relative. And I think that it's really intrinsic to most of the problems that we have in society is that people don't understand. They just look at one layer of the onion. And if you keep unpacking the onion, what you're going to find is at the very core of the onion is a singular problem that is the seed of every other problem in America, worldwide, actually, not really in America alone. And the vast majority of those problems can be traced back, if you get to the core of the onion, to the money, right? It's about money, monetary policy, and fiscal policy, and the actual money that we exchange. And so it really is important. And I think when people are making just domain investment decisions, when people are making any investment decision, they have to understand that these aren't just these price movements are not arbitrary, right? In the past, if you go back more than 20 years ago, most price movements could be correlated with an event because of an increase in demand because of X, because of a decrease in demand because of Y, because of a shortage of supply, a supply chain kink, whatever it might be. And that's less and less the case. Now, we do get supply chain shocks that lead to price increases and temporary forms of inflation. But at the heart of it, really, the vast majority of the reason why most things keep going up is because monetary base keeps expanding, and that larger monetary base is charging after or chasing the same number of goods and services. And so what we need is innovation that creates more goods and services to sort of counterbalance the expansion of the money. It really is an incredibly, I cannot understate how important that concept is for people to understand.
If we really raise the interest rate to 14%, maybe we won't spend it as much.
Oh, I can assure you. And that sounds silly, but I think there's a very good chance that we get to 8.
But that's really all it comes down to, right? Like, as a business, as a person that owns a business, it started with them getting money from the government during COVID, and once they had the taste of that, it became the norm. Once the raises came, then the businesses were forced to raise the cost of their goods and services to offset the amount that they were getting, which put more money in the pocket. So it's just this big vicious cycle, and all it takes is one catalyst to start the money train moving. And at some point, it's got to break. And of course, the government's trying to break it by adding big interest rates, and it will break. It will break at some point, and that's okay because it's necessary. Breaking is part of rebuilding and doing things. But I'll say one last thing on the housing is very similar to domains, in my opinion. Is, houses right now, a lot of people aren't moving. There is not a lot of supply of people selling their homes. It's actually quite down, the amount of properties on the market, and it's because people are staying. And it's like domain names. Once you found a house that you like, it's yours, it's off the market, it's not coming back. So people think, well, I'm just going to get a new domain that's not as good, or I'm going to build a house. Well, the houses in the good spots and the good locations and the good neighborhoods and on the beach, those are the best homes. Every other house is not as good as the original ones. So you're finding those are not the desired house. So just like the home that you want and the domain that you want, you're going to have to pay up for it. And thus the house, like, that the great house that Braden has, people bucked up for it because there isn't going to be another house like that one. They're going to move it out. They're going to be in some part of LA that's not as good. There's going to be a domain and an alternate TLD or another word added to it. It comes down to this. If you find something you like, you better as shit buy it, because you're going to buy a lesser product down the road. And that's no amount of money that's going to change that. If somebody doesn't want to sell, you're not going to have enough money to change that person's mind, whether it's their house or their domain. You're going to have to take advantage of things like that.
That's a great point. That's a great place to close it up. Unless Braden's got any last words himself, since Drew said lots of words.
There are definitely a lot of words. Yeah. Frozen rants.
Frozen rants. But I mean,
I'm here for it.
But have any lies been detected? Is my question, and I'd say to me,
No, Drew. I'm breaking your balls only because this is a domain show. I agree with most of what you say in general. Not everything. I think sometimes.
My point is just that it's related. That's really what I'm trying to say.
I'm just breaking balls, but it's still a domain show. So
yes.
Well, people like
tell you he pays for this microphone, therefore.
Hey, I sent Drew a kudos today. Everybody tells me they're their second favorite person on the show. Then I'm their second favorite after Drew.
Oh man, well, where's that?
Sorry, guys.
I know.
Of course, they're sending me that. So,
well, I'm looking forward to this weekend when y'all are coming out.
Yeah, I'll miss you guys. I'll be there in spirit.
Are you on the East Coast, Drew? Is that where you're headed?
Out for me. Yeah, I'm headed. I'm gonna fly tomorrow morning. I gotta go. I'll be in Rhode Island, and I got a little memorial, little party, and then go visit my family, and then I'm fly back home Monday. So it's gonna be a whirlwind.
Yeah. Well,
why don't you come to LA on Monday?
Well, I'm actually flying out Sunday night.
Sunday
back here. Yeah.
So come to LA on Sunday.
I can't. I got to get back, and then I'm going to Morocco for my birthday, and
nice
Thursday, I think. So, yeah.
Hold on, didn't Morocco get hit pretty rough?
We're going to Marrakesh, where it happened up in the Atlas Mountains, but there was significant damage in Marrakesh. So we'll see. The hotel says they're fine. I'm skeptical, but
and it's important to support people. Yeah, that's the other thing when these islands and places have these disasters, people are like, oh, I don't want to go and bother them. Well, that's you're their income source. Like it just makes it worse when you avoid places that have had catastrophe. They actually need us to come.
It's true.
That was one of the justifications for keeping the reservation.
Yeah.
I've been to the High Atlas Mountains. It's pretty cool up there. So enjoy that.
Best hash in the world.
It's not where I was going with that, but
yeah.
Cool.
He's like, hash browns. They serve hash browns
Yeah. Well done. All right, JT.
All right. Well, like we say on this show, I appreciate all y'all for coming out. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to my co-host for coming on today. As always, it is much appreciated. And to the audience, thank you guys so much for tuning in. As I say on the show, without you, there is no us. And, we appreciate y'all. So we're also not hard to find. So for those of you who are in the LA area, holler at us. Let's hang out a little bit. Otherwise, if you guys have any feedback, good, bad, or ugly for any of us, please just reach out. Let us know. You can find us on social and all that good stuff. And then otherwise, we'll see everybody next time once we're here on Domain Sherpa. But until then, y'all be easy, and we'll see everybody soon. So thanks again, and we'll catch y'all next time here on Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Peace out, y'all.